This is a Willets Point Shea Stadium bound 7 express train. The next and last stop is Willets Point, Shea Stadium.
Oh, yes, it is the Subway to Shea podcast. Anthony Rivera here with you, talking about all the news and happenings surrounding that team from Queens, the New York Mets. Episode 174 from the Subway to Shea studios in my office. Make sure you are following the podcast on X, Instagram, and TikTok at Subway to Shea. You can follow me at Ant Rivera 86, as well as like and subscribe to the video. And you can listen on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can see my screen is a little bit smaller right now because I'm bringing on two good friends of mine, Keeshawn of Shea and Sons podcast. It's a very special Subway to Shea and Sons podcast. The winter meetings preview, or as I like to call it, the Eric Fetty Invitational. Gentlemen, we have 410 people in this room right now to talk about one man and one man only. And hopefully this is the last night, honestly, because this has been a wild ride on X for the past, I want to say, since Thanksgiving, probably about 2 or 3 weeks of mix of the world, of Keith McPherson versus John Heyman's of the world, and everything in between to talk about Juan Soto and where he's going. And it seems like tonight is the night. And I said this, I think, a couple days ago. It's either going to happen Sunday or Monday night. And here we are. Mike Puma kind of reported it first. Now Andy Martino's jumping on it, that Juan Soto is finally going to make a decision here on where he's going to go. Gentlemen, we are finally at the finish line, and hopefully it ends with a win for the New York Mets in the offseason.
I just want to give my deepest condolences to Carlos Mendoza's son at this moment. Very difficult times right now for young Adrian. And I just want to send some love to Jesse Winker. Not enough love going to my guy. But shout out the chat. Shout out Anthony. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for having my brother. Appreciate you, bro.
Love you, gentlemen, man. It's always great having you on. We had a lot of fun doing this last year, trying to break some news out of the winter meetings that gave us absolutely nothing. And right off the bat, we don't even start the winter meetings until tomorrow, and we are getting the Juan Soto decisions, kind of like LeBron James almost. And if he doesn't sign with the Mets, it's almost going to be like when I hated LeBron James for going to Miami. So we are at that point in time right now. What's up, Keeshawn? How you doing, my friend?
What's going on, Ant? Thank you for having me on. This is the Eric Fetty Invitational. Happy to be here. You know what I'm saying? If some news breaks down, chat, hopefully you got us, you know. But I don't know, man. And I haven't really spoken to you much recently. So what is your take on things? Do you think that what's your confidence meter?
Yesterday, because I was at the QBC, the Queens Baseball Convention with Ibby, and my confidence was pretty high at that point in time. And then there's always that time where you're thinking about things, you're reading into the tea leaves and seeing what possibly could be done. And then I'm like, what's the deal with the Celsius deal? Does that have anything to do with what's going on here? I don't know, man. I think I'm 50-50 at this point, or maybe a little bit more towards the Mets than I am, because the guy wants the money. The Mets are offering that, and they're going to beat whatever any other team comes to, or at least that's what we're told. And then the team will still have money to go and do other things. Whereas if he goes to the Yankees, this is pretty much their big move, because how much more money can they spend? Hal doesn't want to spend crazy money. He's already got investments in Judge and Garrett Cole, Giancarlo Stanton, Rodon. I don't think he wants to go. This is probably going to be his big move for a couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to piggyback off of that. I think that the possibility to add on top of Juan Soto should be as appealing as, I'm saying, obviously the number. I don't think he wants to go to a lame dunk franchise that is kind of like past its prime, almost entering. If Judge can't get it together in the playoffs. So, anyways, go ahead, Keith.
No, I was just gonna say, all day I heard that the Yankees are rumored with so many players, and then all of a sudden it's like you're hearing all the momentum towards him staying back there. It's like maybe they upped their offer to a point where it's like he probably sat there and was just waiting for them to just up their offer, and it got to a point where he's just like, I'd rather stay where I was just at. I mean, if you take away what Judge did, you could have argued maybe Soto could have been an MVP like candidate with those numbers. So, I mean, at this point, he took all the fun out of it already. I'll be honest with you. Like the bubble for me already popped a long time ago. There's nothing that he signs 15 years, 800. Okay. It'll hit me probably in a week, I guess.
I don't know. I agree. Like this has not been fun to be, left hanging for this long. And I think the fact that you're looking at a, 26-year-old kid who like is deciding, do I want 750? Do I want 770? Like, it's crazy to think of someone making this much amount of money. And honestly, like, he isn't that 5-tool guy, though. Like, he's not a Mookie Betts. That's why the Red Sox thing, kind of threw me for a loop. Why would they spend money on him when Mookie Betts was, an elite athlete giving them everything that he wanted? So that's why I think that they're not really involved in this, although Mick does. But, that's neither here nor there. I think the Mets need a free agent win here to actually have us, we've talked so long about Steve Cohen's money, and he can get whatever he wants, but we've really yet to see that, right? I mean, they did get Scherzer and Verlander, but those are two old guys. They were trying to make way, trying to turn this team around. Didn't really work. Francisco Lindor is really the only one. I think I talked about this with Ibby yesterday from Till Mets to His Park, that really Francisco Lindor is the only one to really get that big contract from the Mets. And that was at the beginning of Cohen's tenure, trying to, make these fans happy. And,
well, Anthony, the thing is that, this is my philosophy that I think we should install is bring them in via trade, then have them here so that you have the leg up. It's kind of what they're doing with him. Yeah. That's their Lindor. I mean, essentially, it's hard to beat someone who had the guy and is appealing like, they are, and then to just throw money. You said a good point. We've all heard Cohen's money can buy whatever. I think so far what Cohen's money has shown me, my brother, you, and all the other Met fans, it can get rid of a lot of things. It can get rid of problems. That's a good thing.
Could buy prospects. Another good
buy prospects. Could do a lot of things that we never done. But can it land the big fish? I guess we find out tonight.
We are. And, I don't blame them for losing out on Yamamoto. I won't blame them if they have the highest offer and lose out to the Yankees because he doesn't want to really be here. But it does, like, everyone's got to temper their, we have the financial might. Like, the thing we don't have is consistency in winning. That's what we need. That's the next step. And I say this every year. That's why, wanting this team to blow up in the middle of the season, they had to have turned it around. And that was a stepping stone. They need to continue to build a winning culture and a winning organization. They have it in the background, right? The manager, the Cohens as a family, they've built a good culture. Now they have to build the culture of winning. And that's something that hopefully we see, with winning this free agent. So it's going to suck if they don't get Soto, but there are other avenues where the Mets can do stuff, and we'll get into that most of the show today. But it will be a little disheartening, just the fact that we can't really, pump our chest that he has all this money just yet.
You know what I could say to your previous point, and now that I'm thinking about it, Lindor was through trade, right?
Yep.
He hasn't really gotten the guy in free agency that we all have been expecting. Like Carlos Correa fell through, and for good reason. It worked out in our favor. But the point is that, like, other than him, And Yamamoto, he's like 0 for 2 right now. So he's not really who's to say that we can respect the fact that he has, the money on his side. If anything, he's been used as like a pawn so far. That's how I'm thinking about it. But like maybe
That's how I feel. I agree.
Maybe this is the one where he just puts his foot down, and it doesn't matter what David Stearns thinks. It doesn't matter what anybody else really thinks. He just wants to like cement the flag. Like you talked about sustainable winning. If he could be at the forefront of that, I'm pretty sure that's appealing to him as well. He could do that at the Yankees, but here will be a different type of. You wouldn't necessarily be in Judge's shadow as much as he was, for that season.
Yeah, well, we'll see how much that gets into his mindset. Does he want to be just another ancillary player, like right behind Judge and almost behind Stanton too, after the playoffs that Stanton had and Cole, or does he want to be one of the leaders of this team? Like immediately he comes and that's an impact bat right there, impact player. We know what Juan Soto brings to organizations, and him and Francisco Lindor at the top leading the charge with a rising Mark Vientos in the lineup, somewhat steady Brandon Nimmo. You got Francisco Alvarez growing as well, and hopefully they figure out a way to bring Pete Alonso back. Jeff Cohen had a comment, and you guys I can't really look at the Twitter screens right now.
I'm keeping my eye on the thing.
You keep your eye? All right, awesome. But Jeff Cohen saying from Bill Madden that the Yankees deserve credit for apparently going well beyond their comfort zone at 750 to 760 for Soto. But word now is Cohen is going to go to 800. Dude, where were we at the middle of the season? Was it 650? And then it went to 7 at the end of the season. Now we're getting closer to 800. That's how bad Steve Cohen wants to land Juan Soto. And if they don't land him, like, can you really, like, I can't really blame him. Like 800 million is insanity.
Just make it $1 billion and tell him, call me later.
Yeah.
Just why not? If you're Steve Cohen and you got all that power, and you just give him a little note, just put 1B, and then we'll talk. Just make sure you with us. That's if you want him that bad. At this point, what's the difference between $800 million and $1 billion? Does it mean really that it ain't my money, it ain't yours?
Yeah.
One of these at Citi Field might cost $45, but it is what it is, right?
And the funny thing is, when the season ended, like, I don't like playing this tit for tat game where you go to them, find out what they're going to give you, come to me, and we'll extend it. That doesn't really show me that you want me here. It's just a game that you're playing. Hey, Juan, we want you on this team. What is it going to take? Let's get this done so we're not playing any games with any other teams. We want you on the Mets. That's where I hope that that Steve Cohen would come out and do something like that. Obviously, it didn't go that way, but I wish I would see more of that instead of like
Michael Conforto to the Dodgers.
Oh,
Michael
that must
Conforto to the Dodgers. Just official.
Wow. I wonder
Mark
if that,
Feinstein.
I wonder where that now puts a guy like Teoscar Hernandez, right? Like you got to think, where is Teoscar Hernandez?
Dominoes are falling, fellas.
Yeah, Teoscar Hernandez is available. We've seen a lot of teams are interested in him. The Red Sox, the Yankees, if they fall out. I don't know where the Mets. I haven't really seen interest from the Mets in Teoscar Hernandez or even Anthony Santander. With you guys, let me ask you this: if the Mets don't get Juan Soto, is it, pivot and bring in a guy like Santander and give him a longer deal, or Teoscar Hernandez? Or do the Mets do what they did last year and kind of, when they didn't get Yamamoto, they kind of went smaller on their deals?
I don't
Keeshawn,
I don't think you've afforded yourself to do what you did last year. And that's because of what you did this year. You made it to NLCS. You were 2 games away from a World Series. To have to feed to a fan base that, you know what, we just got to run it back with the same unit, I don't think is going to go over well. And the fact that Sevy's not here anymore, that already, is playing a big part in the fan base's, I don't know, what would you call it, Ant? but bizarre
Mhm.
attitude throughout this whole like agency process. So yeah, man, I don't know. I think 800 is that real? Was that?
That's floating around Twitter right now that Cohen's gonna reply with north of 800 mil. So it's a
And you know what
rumor.
I was just thinking of when you brought up that Conforto news. Tyler O'Neill getting signed to what they got signed to is like huge, because now all these teams that are second, third, fourth place for Soto are not going to turn their attention. And if it is the Mets, I mean, I would like I would like an in the lineup. I've told Keith this. We spoke about it on the pod. Like, I think that adding Pete and another bat tells me that, you know, they're looking to win. I don't think.
Let me read the tweet for you guys. Bill Madden of the Daily News just tweeted, "The Yankees deserve credit for apparently going well beyond their comfort zone at 750 mil to 760 million for Juan Soto. But the word now is Steve Cohen is going to $800 million. If so, he will be the lone bidder at $800 million. Then it's on Soto." Let me ask y'all a question. Hold on. How y'all feel about a guy walking into let's just think about the Mets. This guy signing a deal like that and walking into that clubhouse. It's kind of weird, no? Isn't it? It doesn't really. It's like kind of like odd. No, am I going crazy here thinking about that the way we know them?
I mean, it has to set a precedence, right? Like Scherzer's contract set a precedence for the pitchers when he signed with the Mets, because he was a part of the Players Association. So Soto doing this, you know, resets what Ohtani did last year. And I know what was the comment that it was David Smith saying, "I want Soto on the Mets, but not for the price tag of over 700 mil for 15 years. He's not worth it. He can't pitch, run, or field." Soto did not even hit 300 or 50 home runs. Soto is not Ohtani. He's not Ohtani, right? But because Ohtani signed the deal, he set a new precedence for all these players getting even more money. Like when you have a great player like Ohtani, or you even look at what Aaron Judge got, like they set precedents for the next player to come. Lindor set his deal was setting for the next crop of shortstops. So that's where it changes.
New tweet. Sorry. Ken Rosenthal confirming Conforto to the Dodgers, though Dodgers still in on Teoscar Hernandez. Sources say Conforto was wanting to be their left-handed, bat, and it says right-handed bat, right-handed hitter. They wanted a left-handed hitter and a right-handed hitter. They say they got one of the two, so they're going after Teoscar now. Pretty much. That's kind of how I'm interpreting what he wrote. He wrote it very weird, but they wanted a lefty and a righty. They got one already. So
it's crazy because that it feels like they are going to probably be out now on Soto. That has to, if they're going to bring in Conforto, they're going to bring in Teoscar Hernandez back. I can't see a way. I mean, they could do whatever. Like the Dodgers figure out ways, but I have that feeling that they are going to be out now. I mean, I think we're not one of the top four to reach 700 mil. Outside of, I think it was the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, the Yankees, and the Mets. So, I wonder too, when it was announced earlier today by Andy Martino and Puma that we were coming down to a wire tonight, did that mean that 800 mil was already announced? Like you look deep into this, was that 800 announced and now Soto is ready to make that decision? So you got to think about that as well. Some of the comments I want to read, and I'll get back to you guys. Matt Ibanez saying from Tilmesto's part that it's about changing the tenor of this franchise to everyone. It's why there's no limit on the total to get the player. So I totally agree with that. And Duran Rivera says, if Soto comes to the Mets, great. If not, then I don't want a player that doesn't want us. I agree with that totally. I think Keith has said that tons of time in our chat, that he doesn't want players that don't want to be here. That's the truth. I mean, that's why I like the guy like Sevy. He wanted to play in New York. He wanted to be in New York. Sean Manaea as well. Obviously, they're their price tags got a little high. But, you bring in a guy like Clay Holmes. He's a New York guy, and we'll see what happens. We'll get into him in a little bit, but the Soto talk continues here. Jay's saying, I want Soto, but I don't want a guy that doesn't have the heart set to the Mets, that he only comes if the money is higher than the Yankees. I mean, they definitely have to ask Soto, like, what was the point that the Yankees had? Like, if he signs with the Mets, what was the point that he needed the Yankees to get to return there? Because, Cohen's going to go, what, fifth? Now, if it's, what was the original talk? It was, I think, 710 to 730. I assume the Mets were at 730. The Yankees were at 710. And now it's 760 to now 800. So that's 40 million more. Insanity.
I just want to point out Michael Conforto got $17 million from the Dodgers, all up front, not deferred money. He got all of that right up front.
He had a good season last year.
He
was all right.
Fielder season.
I'll tell you what. Tyler O'Neill got 16 and a half, and then he has an opt out. I mean, I guess the Dodgers could afford that, right?
Yeah.
With
all, how much is that deferred?
Not paying Shohei Ohtani for all these years. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
Must be nice, right?
That's gotta be
very, very nice. And do you think that this deal might include any deferrals?
There's got to be some deferrals in here. There's got to be opt-outs in here. There has to be. The Mets have to protect themselves from this deal as well. Like, and you tell Soto, I would assume, like, if he, turns 29, 30, you can go opt out then. I mean, he's still in his prime. Look at what Judge got for being around 30 years old. Pete Alonso's in his 30s, and he's going to get a decent deal. So I'm pretty sure Soto would get even more than these guys got to reset again the market. So there has to be opt-outs, at least one, I would assume, right around when he turns 29, 30. And I wouldn't be shocked if there's another one, but definitely has to be at least one opt-out.
No, I think we got to see that.
My bad,
yeah.
My bad.
No,
do you guys get worried about there being opt-outs in this deal?
I don't.
Kind of no? Tell me why.
Because if he opts out and let's say he signs with another team, Steve's going to spend again.
Okay.
And like, at least you got him for, what was it, 3 or 4 years of good prime Soto. You don't want to get locked down to Soto again in another 10-year deal. So, but the thing is, they could sign him back. Like, if they sign him now, they still could sign him back then. And who knows where baseball is when it comes to money? Who knows where the economy is? And maybe it'll work. Maybe baseball will be in a different time then. Maybe they're selling out. Maybe who knows where the Mets are, right? Like the Mets finally, sold out crowds this offseason, this postseason, and towards the end of the regular season. So maybe it'll work out for them. I liked having the opt-outs. I think it's good because you can reset. It allows you to reset as a team. And, I'm pretty sure there'll be other younger players that are out there as well that you probably want to go after.
You know why I think it doesn't matter is because if he opts out, that means that the deal worked out. So at that point,
he gave us the 4 best years.
You gave us your best, and you think you could test the market again? Cool. That means that the Mets are in a very good spot, I would think, in my eyes. Or it could just be a meltdown. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. But I'm going off of the back of the baseball card. I don't see that coming. And in the direction that the team is going, definitely don't see that coming if he comes here. So I don't know. I think that the 800 is.
You guys convinced me, by the way.
800 is fucking
You just convinced me. You guys just sold me. Both compelling.
800 is crazy.
I was worried.
The shit about 800 is that you're willing to go to 750. Like
800 for 800 for
really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. Like at that point, Cohen's just going to keep going. Like he's not going to stop until he gets what he wants. I mean, the only thing he's not going to get is whether Soto wants to play here, which I would be shocked if he doesn't. I mean, he'll have his buddy in Marte, he'll have Lindor. Like, I don't know what the big deal is. Just because they have Aaron Judge, they're acting as if the Mets are not going to go out and continue to get other players that they want. Like, what if they do bring back Pete? Pete has been just as a prolific a power hitter. He's not better than Aaron Judge, but as a power hitter, I would want to be hitting behind him or ahead of him. So
yeah,
I think you have to bring him back at this point, right?
Yeah, you got to bring Pete back because then with Soto, everybody's floor raises, and you got to see what that lineup looks like. Like, I think there's 7 deep already off the top of my head. Like, if he is added to the lineup, and I think that's the direction that baseball is going in, where you got to have like deep lineups. So, 1 billion.
Just do it. See if Hal Steinbrenner got what it takes. Why not? He's gonna opt out in 4 or 5 years anyways. It ain't our money. $45 for water. Stay healthy.
Cohen's doing that, and David Stern's got to clear his throat, got to go get a drink of water after seeing that price tag. Guys, 800 mil, 15 years, 53.3 average annual value that would be. 53.3.
How long would it take you to say yes?
This wouldn't have been long drawn out, that's for sure.
So here's my question to you both. If you're Soto and you knew this was going to get to this point, why stop it here? Do you think teams are going to – I think the Yankees make one last push, but I don't think it's like – so, like, if we're talking about money, let's just talk about money only. All right, Toronto and Cohen, right? Toronto and the Mets, right? I guess that's what you keep hearing. But if he doesn't want to play on a franchise like Toronto, because their future is not nowhere as good as ours, maybe not even as good as the Yankees, right? So they kind of corner themselves out. So then at some point, like, just wouldn't you? I heard the term, you don't want to bid against yourself. Shouldn't you want to bid against yourself in this situation if you're at this number already? Like, wouldn't you want to do that?
I think there's a lot of strategy designed by all teams, like the Red Sox being a part of this and all the rumors that came out of the Red Sox. I don't really believe that he's going to Boston, but I do believe that they're upping the Yankees price to get them to spend more so that they won't be players for other free agents that are out there. And the fight with the Mets and Yankees, like, Cohen's going to do whatever it takes, but how far is Hal Steinbrenner willing to push this? He's not his father. He's got, the fan base is going to go nuts on him if they don't bring him back. But if they do bring him back, this doesn't really hurt the Mets. It hurts the Yankees more because on both parts, right? If he goes to the Yankees, it hurts the Yankees more because then it's going to be hard for them to spend. But if he goes to the Mets, it also hurts the fact that their fan base is going to be pissed as heck that they lost out to the Mets. They don't want to sign Juan Soto because they want the player. They want to sign Juan Soto because they don't want him going to Boston and hearing from the Boston fans, and they don't want him going to the Mets and hearing from the Met fans. Yankee fans are going to go nuts. That's what this is more about. The smartest thing they do is not signing Juan Soto, because that frees up all that money for them to build a better team. They have a lot to fix with not a lot of funds.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Keeshawn. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think that the Yankees, even if you get Juan Soto, you got to figure out, what second base. You got to figure out like what you're gonna do with, pieces of the rotation.
First base.
You just lost, first base. You lost Clay Holmes. That's another piece. Like, there's so many avenues that the Yankees have yet to even cross, and they've reached like the tipping point with the Mets now. That I think they should be very happy that kind of like a majority of the free agents kind of like are waiting for this new week to come and what it means to arrive, because they would have been asked out otherwise.
I mean, can I ask you, gentlemen, does it I kind of know my brother's answer because I kind of have an idea of where his brain's at sometimes. But I guess I'll ask you both. Is this bid more to land Juan Soto or more to stick it to the Yankees?
I think this bid is a little bit of both. I think
I
this
agree.
bid is to land Juan Soto. It is to stick it to the Yankees. And as Edge says, maybe Steve is tired of coming in second. This is the free agency. If you want to spend, if you want to go over the luxury tax and all this stuff, this is the free agency you're going to do it on. You bring Soto in. You don't stop there. You got to bring back Alonso as well. You can figure out a way to do the pitching. That's why David Stearns is here. That's why David Stearns brought in Frankie Montas. That's why he brought in Clay Holmes. That's why he's looking into guys, which we'll get into later, Nick Pivetta, Nathan Eovaldi, guys that are going to be short-term deals, maybe a little higher AAV, but they won't have them for long, so they won't have to be worrying about that money. Everyone getting upset about them going after these guys, Montas and Holmes. It's designed for a reason. They still want to bring Soto in here. That's the guy that they're going to offer all the crazy money to, and maybe they're going to save some as well for Pete Alonso. So I'm not shocked at the way that they are, going about trying to build this team.
What do you think, Keeshawn?
I think that was a good point that Ed brought up. I think it is a little bit of both, but if you're Steve Cohen, you have yet to make other than Lindor, right? Lindor, we keep pointing out as the move, but you haven't made like a signature signing yet. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody remembers Scherzer and Verlander for all the wrong reasons, right? Like you have opportunity here to kind of cement the flag and into this new era of Mets baseball, the Steve Cohen era. So I think there's a lot of machismo involved in that. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to go to the winter meetings and everybody around and everybody, water cooler talk. Like, oh, they looking at how, like, yo, we not fucking with you. Yo, where's Steve at? Yo, Steve, yo. And everybody, you don't want to walk into that situation if you have. So,
okay. What do you think the setup is right now at the winter meetings? Like, what do you think? Do you think the Mets got like the best setup? Like, because it's like all in the hotels, right? Like,
I think
you can't have.
That, you know what I think? I think that when David Stearns walks in the room, is like at least 5 motherfuckers breaking their necks when he walks in the room.
Or that guy was that guy last year that fell into the pool? You remember that guy?
That guy fell into the pool.
Yeah. I think it's at least.
Oh my gosh!
When David Stearns walk in, it's like oh shit.
Like that's him. Oh shit.
Like oh. Like it all of a sudden it get cold. It's like a weed going across. You know what I'm saying? The ground like Looney Tunes episode. Like.
It's the guy who's making Clay Holmes a starter. Him.
Yeah. They're all trying to laugh and shit, but he looking at them like, fuck, like,
I'm just chilling. What was that last year? I'm just chilling.
Yeah, I'm just chilling, just hanging out.
We're just chilling in here, guys. 1,700 people are with us, waiting for this news. Let's get to break down some of this news from Juan Soto. It has to happen, and Shea Parking Lot thinks it's going to happen at halftime of the Chiefs game. That's what I was thinking as well, at halftime of the I don't even know where we're at. I don't even have a TV in front of me. I don't know where we're at the game.
It is halftime. Yeah, it's halftime.
Hopefully it comes soon. Justin G saying Cohen been talking that shit. Now he got to back it up. I agree with that. David Smith saying this is a bidding war between Mets and Yankees that Met fans were hoping for when Steve Cohen bought the team. All great points. I mean, this is what we wanted. That's why I remember a couple years ago when Judge was a free agent, and I guess he said that he wasn't going to be in on it. Yeah, that they weren't going to be in on Judge. I guess trying to be, nice with the Yankees. And I was like, man, forget that. You got the money. Let's go. But maybe they didn't want Aaron Judge. Who knows? They brought back Brandon Nimmo, and it is what it is at this point. Corey at ESB saying Lindor, Vientos, Soto, Alonso, 1 to 4. Let's ride. I agree. I feel like if you do Soto, you got to do Alonso. It's crazy to think of Vientos in this stature now and everything that he's done throughout this season. this past season to get us to this point where, like, to me, he's our third baseman. Like, he's going into spring training as a third baseman. He'd have to do an awful lot to lose it, have to have a tough spring. But what he provided for this team this season, as well as in the postseason, probably one of the best postseasons in Mets history, was great. Odd Villain saying Cohen is on a coke bender right now for sure. We'll see if he comes up with, I don't even know how far he's going to go. We got to see how far Hal's going to go too. Like, is he done? Like, is 750, 760? Like, how far is he going to push? I think that Cohen wants to see how far this is going to push Hal Steinbrenner. Because that's all we've talked about. We've talked about is how much money the Steinbrenners have had. And Hal has pretty much changed the rhetoric for it to be a lot less about what his father did in the past to now this, if you got to go over 300 mil, like, are you really a winning team and not spending past the luxury tax? Steve's going to see how far he goes to push him that far. So that'd be interesting. Armand saying he's 60-40 on, he thinks he's going to go back to the Yankees. So we'll see. We'll see. Peter Kid saying it would be nice if they announced Alonso and Soto together. Obviously, that would be something.
His birthday yesterday.
It's his birthday. He's a Boris client. That would be great to see that happen as well. I want to get into some other news that happened with the Mets as well, and that was the signing of Clay Holmes. We'll get back into Soto. We'll talk more about Soto as the show goes on. But the Clay Holmes deal, 3 years, $38 million, got to opt out after the second year. David Stearns loved the opt-outs, and Mets plan to turn Holmes into a starter. Now, I wanted Clay Holmes as a reliever because I thought he would be a great setup man for Edwin Diaz. You saw what he did once they took him out of the closers role, and crazy enough, he saved 30. He had 30 saves this season out of 43 chances. So 3.14 ERA, I'll take that in our bullpen, which was rough all season long, and the career in the postseason, a 1.35 ERA, 20 strikeouts in 20 innings pitched. I want to go to Keith first because you sold me on him being a starter with the videos that you had coming out and all that. Why do you like it so much for him to transition into being that starting pitcher?
Yeah, so, this has been a trend for a very long time. This is something that hasn't picked up as much trendiness as of late. But, back in the past, they even did it one year with John Smoltz, and over the course of the way Major League Baseball has transitioned into somewhat of a shorter game, there's not enough innings, though, for these guys. So you can have tons of pitches, but you don't have the innings because guys just cannot withstand the wherewithal of these current day and age, restrictions like the pitch clock and, so on and so forth, the shift and all these new rules. So guys now go 5 innings. The majority of guys, I'd say 60% of starting pitching, maybe even more. I'd say even close to 70, 75. They go 5 innings. You get 6 innings out of your top guy, you're good. And I know everyone wants an ace. I understand why everyone wants an ace. That is a very serious concern. But David Stearns has said over and over again he wants an army. So in doing so, you see what all these guys are getting paid. You understand that, yes, you have all the money in the world, but you can't just do all that and then talk to a guy for $800 million. So you're going to have to get creative. Garrett Crochet, Reynaldo Lopez, Corbin Burns, Seth Lugo. The list goes on.
Michael King.
Michael King, another great example who diced in the playoffs. You got to go and really find a guy who you can stretch that arm out and you can get about 80 to 120 innings because that's what most of these guys kind of do. They stay in that range before they really start revving up their arms. And you start building off that to see their campaign, if they can do it. And you just got your number 5 starter, probably hovering around league average, ERA around 4. League average nowadays. That's your 5th starter, by the way, which is good for league average, giving you 120 quality innings. Everyone wants to point to all the blown saves or the blown leads or whatnot. The man was much better in lower leverage situations. He used to be a starter. He has experience doing so. He's in a new environment. He's in the pitching lab pitching lab environment that David Stern has created in Queens. And it's not going to cost you what a number 5 starter is going to cost you, because essentially, in theory, a number 5 starter costs what Frankie Montas costs, almost $40 million, regardless of the opt-outs, whatever. That's your 5th starter in this day and age of baseball. Clay Holmes has superior ground ball rate. Superior. One of the best ground ball rates for any reliever. He has insane movement on his stuff. He has velocity. He has 3 pitches. That's a David Stern signature right there. If he has that prior experience enhanced under the Mets' watch to be a starter, look at what they got out of Jose Budo. Look at towards the end of the year, you saw David Peterson excel. You saw Jose Quintana, who everybody wanted to run out of town. You know what I'm saying? You saw enhancements with starters and relievers. Before Phil Maton was the most hated reliever in this organization, he got us to the playoffs. He was a lot of quality innings. That has a lot to do with the establishment of this philosophy that they have with the pitching staff and David Stearns. Clay Holmes already has shown the world one of the main reasons why David Stearns is here to collect players is to show them that they can play on a big stage like New York City. Clay Holmes fits that mold. It was the same thing with JD Martinez. JD Martinez has played in Boston. He played in LA. He said it in one of his early press conference. He wants guys that know that they can play in this environment. And there you go. Honestly, it's going to be a transitional period for many, but you're going to have to jump on board.
Yeah. Ibby saying Holmes in a better park, ground ball rate stuff plus at 123 plus. He raises the ceiling for our starting pitchers, which is needed. I think what also is missing is how bad defensively the New York Yankees were. And I know the Mets started off the season bad, but ended the season as a pretty good defensive team. And you have that elite defense behind them up the middle with Lindor and whoever the second baseman is. Pete Alonso is no schlub at first base. He's pretty decent first baseman. Mark Vientos is growing into a better third baseman. And you got, Jose Siri in the outfield now, as well as Tyrone Taylor. And if they get, they have Brandon Nimmo in left field. So I think the defense is pretty good there. And another thing that I like, and I'll throw this to Keeshawn, is, this definitely shows that the Mets have become a destination for pitchers who need to prove it. And they know in the hands of David Stearns, in the hands of Jeremy Hefner, who 100% I can't stand, and I couldn't stand. But I give the guy credit where credit's due. I eat the crow that he does help a lot of these pitchers out. You mentioned all the things that he did with Jose Quintana and Jose Budo. This team has now become a destination for those 2 to 3 year type pitchers that maybe a guy like an Evaldi would come here, or Walker Buehler, who's looking to come back from injury, that maybe these guys would want to come to pitch on the Mets and prove themselves.
Yeah, I think having the ability to have a pitching lab and a president of baseball operations that is so heavily into the analytics offers a lot of room for insight into a player, like what we saw out of Manaea. Manaea was he was a product of the Mets helping him blossom into a great pitcher, but it had been steps before that he had with San Francisco that made him want to become the pitcher that he wanted to become. I think a thing that gets not really mentioned is organization having the ability to want to take in guys and help their careers and help them retool themselves into a brand new or player or whatever. A lot of organizations they don't really have that mindset. There are a lot of closed-minded GMs out there, and I think that David Stearns, at least in his first full year, he's offered like that he's able to get creative with things. And I think that the regime before this one with Billy Epler, I don't think that was really there, because Seth Lugo would have still been here, right? And I think I think that the Clay Holmes idea is great because if he doesn't work out as a starter, you at least have him in the defense. I don't see that as a loss. It's just at what point do you not see it working out that they're willing to pull the plug is where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
Creativity is the best part about it. I agree.
Yeah, and when you're talking about pulling the plug, David Stearns has not hesitated. He did not wait on Adrian Hauser for more than about a month and a half. After he put him in the bullpen, saw it wasn't working. All right, see ya, you're gone. Jake Diekman, gone. The names, the list go on and on about all these players that the Mets would get rid of. And it's nice. It was refreshing to see because you look at 2023 and you couldn't throw Dominic Leone off this team quick enough, and he was on there until the trade deadline, and we had to see him pitch. So I just like the way that David Stearns is able to decipher what the needs are of this team and get rid of, I guess, the garbage that is just not working out. You agree with that, Keith?
I think the best part about this front office with Cohen and Stearns is that they're probably the best in Major League Baseball at fixing problems. And I think that's probably what makes so many fans love them. I love them too. I just don't love them to the fault of my own. But it's nice to see because this is an organization who has a long past of sticking too long with certain things. And the fans are not silly. We understand that there's analytics and there's so many nuances to this sport, but we know when a guy is just not good enough to play here. We get it. We know. And in the past, it stood too long. We understood. And thankfully now they're able to fix these problems. I feel like that is an element that they need to add. So think of it for me as Batman's belt. That's one of the tricks they have, right? So eventually they're going to have to show more tricks along that belt to show the fans that they're able to do different types of things for the organization. I think you're in the negotiation stage of getting close to $1 billion for a baseball player where some organizations are not even worth the amount of this one player. I mean, that alone is a trick that a lot of people, can't use to enhance their baseball club. So for me, the establishment for a lot of things where Steve Cohen has come into play and David Stearns has mixed really well. Getting Juan Soto does a whole different dimension to things, but I don't think it really, I personally don't think it's going to set us back or anything. To your point earlier about the Yankees probably kind of seeing their their offseason without Juan Soto and probably being a more smarter route. With my brother, we have gone down this list of an offseason without Juan Soto for both teams. And there's realistic ways that both teams can still be good and be better. This to me, and I've said it on many different platforms, this is truly a cherry on top. This is a battle of whose stick is longer, honestly. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. I worry about certain things outside of the front office personally. I worry about, there's going to be a mix up in this clubhouse. And I think last year that nuance between starting pitching group, we all saw them together, Jose Iglesias, the Lindor stuff, the Vieto stuff, that is going to be totally different this year, regardless if Soto comes. So that is where my brain is at, honestly.
And I think that David Stearns and Carlos Mendoza, to a certain extent, have to sit down with the group and let them know, guys, this team is going to interchange. You want to win a championship? This is how we're going to do it. This team is going to interchange possibly on a yearly basis. It may change, but what the consistency is that you have an owner that's willing to spend. You have a president of baseball operations that is willing to get creative to make the best team possible, and a manager that they 100% believe in. If you remember, when Buck Showalter got fired, that team was upset. Francisco Lindor was upset. That was like his number one guy. And then Carlos Mendoza comes in, rookie manager, get off to an 0-5 start, get crushed in May, figure out a way to turn the season around, and had them push consistently. They never let a bad loss, and they had plenty of bad losses last year. They never let a bad loss affect the team to a point where there was a long losing streak. They figured out a way to turn it around 2 weeks towards the end of the season, and they were right in the hunt for a playoff spot, and they figured out a way to get through and push through all the way to 2 games within 2 games of going to the World Series. So if they can get with the philosophy, and I think, the Lindors have bought in, Vientoses, Nimmo, I think everyone has pretty much bought into this team and the structure. We actually have a structure now. We waited for David Stearns for so long. They wanted him way back in 2020, 2021. Now they have him, and now they're ready to roll and be this team that wins consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and to that point, like, they have their core. They kind of they're deciding it right now, but they kind of have it, coming together. Like Lindor, Vientos, Alvarez, Nimmo, Sugar. Like, those are guys. Senga is another one. Like, those are guys that are going to be here for a long while. You add top of maybe Pete Alonso to Juan Soto. Like, these guys, that's it. It's locked in. Like, these are the New York Mets that you're going to be seeing for a long time, at least in our eyes. But one thing that they kind of gotta, to your point, get adjusted to is, like, the Dodgers always seem to have the same guys, but they're always adding, and things never go awry with the nucleus of the locker room. Like, you look at the Padres, they might add somebody and shit might go left the season, and then come right back the next season, right? Like, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with the Mets, where it wasn't expectations last season. Now, if you add a guy who's going to be worth almost $1 billion, get ready for when shit hits the fan to have to be expected to react, because we saw it on a weekly basis, on a daily basis last season. They got punched in the mouth. They come right back. They punch back. And I love that identity of the New York Mets, because it's the epitome of, like, beautiful baseball. But is $800 million man going to change that? I don't know. And it could that could be a thing where, maybe their brand of baseball does change a little bit because of this addition. I don't think that'll happen, but, like, it's so many factors you have to take into account other than the price tag.
Yeah, and you even look at it from a Yankees perspective as well, right? Look at the Dodgers. They won the World Series, and they got even better by bringing in Blake Snell. They're going to have probably a 6-man rotation. They'll ease Snell in. He'll be just fine playing out in L.A. And the Yankees bring back Soto. They still are not better than the Dodgers. The Mets get Soto. They're not better than the Dodgers. That's why, to me, bringing in him and Alonso is of the utmost importance. Them piecing this puzzle together of the rotation is fine to me. The thing that I want to see from a rotation is length. I want to see a little more, like, get me to the 6th inning. That's all I'm asking for. 5, 6 innings every time out.
Let me ask you a question, fellas. With or without Juan Soto, hear me out. Is there a world that in this winter, trade, signing, whatever, is there a scenario where you can acquire enough players to be better than the Dodgers and still spend within your means? Doesn't matter what you get. Yeah.
Then it comes down to what? It comes down to quality, right?
Quality, yes. Talent, quality, yeah.
That's where David Stearns is going to have to identify, like he did last year, bringing in Sevy and Minaya for the right type of deal. That's where he becomes important. Cohen is important for the big type players. He's going to go after the Sotos and all the big free agents. When it comes down to putting together the rest of this team, that's where David Stearns is going to earn his money, bringing in those type of pitchers and, trading for Jesse Winker and Phil Maton and Stanek, all those pieces that worked out towards the end of the season. That's where the money, Jose Iglesias, right? I mean, I was on the Jose Iglesias train of putting him on the roster at the beginning of the season, looking at the stats he's had his whole career. Obviously, he was pushed back. They were trying Beatty out and all this stuff and didn't work out. And Jose Iglesias comes up, and he's one of the best players on the team all season. So that's my thought on that. I know Key, you had as well. You wanted to add to it.
Yeah. I think that what was I gonna say? The addition of Soto, right? Like it changes so much. I don't think we realize, like, on the surface level, like at that point you can go and continue to add and your pockets are still good. Like I know that me and Keith have spoken about it. Like you could continue to add and you won't reach that marker if you do pay him $50 million a season, right? Like you're still nowhere near your mark of the payroll that you had last year with Montas, with Clay Holmes. You could still add a Pete Alonso and add within the means and continue, and I think you brought it up, and like the best of both worlds in our eyes as Met fans is having the guy with the checkbook who was able to sign whoever we wanted, and having the guy with the brains to say, you know what, I'm not going to give Corbin Burns $200 million. I'm going to give Frankie Montas $17 million, and we're going to see what happens from there, because I believe in this guy who proved to me that he was able to change Severino. Let's do it with Frankie Montas, and I'll pay the tab on Juan Soto. So I think that's the idea. That's the idea that all of us Met fans fell in love with when we saw, Cohen buy the team and then Stearns become the GM, is to have that like meeting of both worlds where the value and the checkbook meet,
Yeah. And it's something that as this team continues to progress and as the years go on, and if they finally become a team that's a consistent winner, makes it to the playoffs consistently, we're going to look back on how they work together with the money, with David Stearns' brain, and how he finds these players that he really believes in, like the Manayas of the world and Sevy, as well as, Clay Holmes and Montas.
You know what? Like this is like I mean, you can relate it to the Knicks, like, and they're able to like Isaiah Hartenstein, Josh Hart, like they found, guys with it, like OG Anunoby, found like valuable, like guys that weren't like Josh Hart was noted like as like a guard who was able to rebound. He wasn't like this guy who was able to get triple doubles. Like they were able to find that, and then Brunson, like, I think they want to build like a organization where you can go there like and become this new player, and or you could turn back the clock like Luis Severino, or you could become Sean Manaea, and now you kind of being revered as like the ace of the staff, if we do add him back. So I think that's something that David Stearns wants to welcome like players in to the facilities for.
Yeah.
They're in Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is it 8 o'clock now in Dallas? It's 10 here? Is that how that works?
I think it's 2 hours behind, if I'm correct.
So 8 o'clock right now.
I think it might be 8 o'clock.
Yeah, this is gonna be a long night, boys.
Yeah.
I have a theory. He's not signing till Wednesday.
You think so?
I think they're gonna. I mean, why would you stop at 800 million, Ed? If you're Soto and I'm Boris, I'm gonna tell you right now, yo, brother, we could keep this going. This man is insane. Let's keep it going.
But I think at a certain point, teams start to be like, all right, good. And I think we're getting to that point where the teams are starting to to drop out. Like, I'm not going at 750. I'm not going to, like, I think the teams are starting to whittle down, where now it's like Mets, Yankees, and Hal is starting to sweat a little bit. Like, are we going this far with this? Or
This is how you make them sweat. This is sweat right here.
You do.
This is real sweat right here.
You hit that 1 billion mark. You hit that 1 billion mark. We've hit 2,100, a little over 2,100 on the show right now. Shout out to all you people in the chat. I wish I could say your name, everyone's name, but that's a lot of people that we got to talk about. But I'm
so many people wanting to watch us talk about Clay Holmes.
Yeah.
Oh God, thank the Lord.
To Key's point earlier about players wanting to, come here, seeing the direction of the team, Duran Rivera made a good point, and that leads into another topic I want to get into is, they're saying that Roki Sasaki is impressed with the Mets pitching lab and player development, and Roki Sasaki is about to be posted. He's about to get that posting. I think he can sign after January 15th or January 15th on, and everybody, all the teams will have their international pool money reset when it comes to that. They have a 45-day negotiation window, and that's an ESPN report. And like I said, he can sign once the signing period opens on January 15th. All teams will have their full money, like I just mentioned, but he can only sign a minor league contract. So that helps out everyone. Everyone's in play. I mean, obviously the Dodgers are. I think he more likely heads to San Diego to be next to Yu Darvish. But if the Mets are able to pull that off, and you look at that rotation now, adding him as well. I love how, I don't know about you guys, but every time the Mets sign someone, they immediately make a graphic of the Mets starting rotation. Like
all the time.
Montes signs and he's the second now to Senga, and then they have Peters. Then they bring in Clay Holmes, and now Clay Holmes is the number 2 starter. Like, can we wait until
McGill's always on that, by the way?
McGill's always on there. You got Peterson and Budo as well. Blackburn, I don't even know what they're going to do with Blackburn. Teams that have been talked about with Roki Sasaki: Dodgers, Mets, San Diego, Yankees, Boston, all the usual suspects, Philly, Chicago Cubs. One of the industry sources told The Athletic that they remind him of a Met that I think we all know and love, Jacob deGrom. They think he can develop into a number 1 starter. Like Duran Rivera said, and like the report said, Sasaki will likely prioritize stability, lifestyle, comfort, and the team's track record with player development. And we talked about it earlier, the way that they've done with this pitching lab. And all the pitchers that now want to come here and make a name for themselves, and whether it leads to them signing elsewhere, great. As we saw with Sevy, it worked out for us because we had a qualifying offer and we got a draft pick out of it. So, Mets are still planning to give $5 million to Elian Pena, who's their 17-year-old shortstop from the Dominican Republic. So that's something to remember when it comes to international pool money. Where are you guys on Roki Sasaki? What do you think about him?
Yeah, I think he's a Dodger, man. Like, I don't know. I just feel like this one feels a little like we learned our lesson from Yamamoto, and we just like it just seems like he's either a Dodger or a Padre. But I'm interested in seeing if that does happen, if he does go out and become a Padre. But I don't really see a world where the Mets are able to acquire him. I think Liam Perez is by their speed, and that's the one I think favorited to land anyways. So I think we'll be getting him instead.
Yeah, that Pena kid is like regarded as one of the best young international acquisitions, probably like right after Sasaki.
Pause. Andy Martino, league source, Soto to the Mets. That just came down 8 seconds ago from Andy Martino. John Heyman. Juan Soto to the Mets. 15 years, $765 million.
We signed him.
Here on the
Mets
Subway podcast.
The Mets signed
ladies and gentlemen, Juan Soto is officially, well, not officially, first sources. He is a New York Mets, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. We lost Key. That's the breaking news. We lost Key on this whole situation. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first.
This is a yearly thing now, and we're doing this on the winter meetings every year, and this is it.
Unbelievable. 15. We no billion. We didn't got to go billion. We didn't have to go to 800 million. $765 million. Juan Soto is officially, when he signs the contract, it's official, but he is a New York Met. Here we go. Boom.
And
right
I'm
there.
calling my dad right now. I've been
Bring
telling
him on the show.
I'm going to bring him on right now. He picks up the goddamn phone. Hey, I just woke up my neighbors, eh? I don't know. Hey, look, you're live on YouTube. Dad is live on YouTube. Juan Soto to the Mets. 15 years. What is it? $765 million. Done deal.
Jeff Passan. It's official. Here we go.
It's official. Jeff Passan.
Superstar outfielder Juan Soto and the New York Mets are in agreement on a 15-year, $760 million contract.
I'll call you back.
Sources tell ESPN it's the largest deal in professional sports history. Steve Cohen has done the impossible for Met fans. It is official, folks.
How do you feel, eh?
Hold on. Here's more. Juan Soto's 15-year, $765 million deal with the Mets includes no deferred money, according to sources, and has escalators that can reach above $800 million.
Oh, so they're gonna. Oh, wow. And you broke the news, and you broke the news, and it was you. You did it, and
shout out to
I gotta
everybody.
give you a hug, and that's for Ant. That's for little Ant right there.
For the little Ant that's coming along, he's gonna get a Juan Soto jersey now, right? That's the first jersey he's got to get.
He has to. Well, no, Lindor then.
True. We'll have a
crazy.
little box full of jerseys, a little closet. Everybody in the chat, let us know how you're feeling about Juan Soto signing to the Mets. This is crazy, folks. This is crazy, right down to the wire. We broke Key.
He left. He ran. He wanted him so bad, and he's been trying to play the I need to calm. He left. He is so wanted him so bad. Juan, Steve Cohen did it. Juan, I'm calling you Juan. Oh my God, Ant, I'm calling you Juan. Steve Cohen did it.
Is Juan Rivera, I guess, is in play.
Juan Rivera
in January.
Juan. Look at that. Cohen did it.
The Mets were number one in this.
Mets were number one.
Unbelievable, folks. I am in shock. Everyone's posting it now. Wow. The biggest deal in sports history belongs to the LOL Mets. LOL that, folks. LOL that. And it was during halftime? The game still
It's about to end.
Is it halftime's about to end? Wow.
Yeah, it's about to end.
Ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. Everyone in the chat. I got you all. I'm posting all the comments from the chat. Like a fan from Westport said, go sign Alonso. Get it done.
And how you like this, Ant? How you like that? How you like that? You like that, Ant? So wait, Ant, can we play a game real quick, Ant?
Yeah.
Please. Humor me. Hold on.
Shout out to Ibby as well, who really wanted Juan Soto and said he was coming from the beginning.
Ibby always believed. So
always
I
believed.
I owe Ibby an apology for being such a negative grump. Oh my God! Of course I can't. Oh, here it is. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, chat. 3,000 people, whatever it is. Guys, what do I do with this 22 jersey? I need suggestions.
Put that sticker on that Soto.
I gotta cover this, right? Yeah, it's been real, baby, but you gotta go, homie. You gotta go. Oh boy.
For a day, you could put Jose Siri because he was also number 22.
That's right. That's right. Oh, so you got an outfield of Jose Siri, Juan Soto, Marte, Nimmo,
Tyrone Taylor.
Tyrone Taylor. You know, Tyrone Taylor's hurt. Kind of needed another outfielder too.
Yeah.
He got surgery, so that's something we're gonna
Johnny
end up
Boy
talking
saying,
about.
I'm naming my boy Soto. Oh, man, this is fantastic, folks. Unbelievable. There was so many people on Twitter that were nervous about this whole situation, that the Mets weren't going to come through, and we have our guy. It's only the beginning of the offseason. Everyone was upset about Clay Holmes. Everyone was upset about Frankie Montas. This is why the Mets have landed Juan Soto right now. You have David Stearns taking care of the stuff behind with all of the little players, all the mini guys, all the component guys. And now the Mets finished the job this offseason. Well, the job's not done, but getting Juan Soto is finishing up the job. Oh, man.
Shout out the Pope, who's been like negative Nancy for like the past week.
Is the Pope rising?
Oh, the Pope is running a space. I see, like, I've never seen this many Met spaces. There's like 7 of them right now. This is insanity. Oh wow, the Yankees. Wow, the Yankees offered Juan Soto $760 for 16.
So that destroys the whole logic that he did not want to come here.
Yeah, he wanted to be the Met. He wanted to come play with the Mets.
And the AAV would be more. It would be less, would it? Or would it be just about the same?
It's almost the same. Oh my God. Juan Soto is a New York Met. Oh, this is like true live reality TV. There's nothing really I can say. This is insanity.
We have one person to thank for this. Last season, Eric Fetty set us up for this. Eric Fetty set us up for this moment. An hour we spent talking about Eric Fetty led us to this moment today to get Juan Soto. Unreal.
Bro, these edits are too quick. He looks beautiful. Look at that blue.
You know that they had these edits already set. I don't know if you follow This Day in Mets History, where he posts. He already has the he has that one. Wow.
So I have to bring you into my world with my dad.
One more thing too.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna get one more thing that was said here. Andy Martino, opt out isn't until after year 5 of Soto.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
Love it.
Perfection.
Love it.
Perfection.
Juan Soto for 5 years in Queens, boys and girls, with Francisco Lindor. Pete Alonso, come back home, Pete. I know you want to come home, Pete. So shout out. Hey guys, listen, if you follow me on Twitter, I am posting this beautiful Christmas art. If you want to copy and use it, please, by all means, you know what I'm saying? Send this to a friend, be on the lookout for those folks. And I want to show you something. I want to bring you into the world of texting with my dad. My dad is like that grumpy Spanish guy that doesn't want to spend money, So my dad's like, yeah, you could get like 8 players for that Juan Soto money. I have been texting this man for weeks, Juan Soto pictures, just bothering him, just absolutely bothering the poor man. And he's like, no, we're not getting him. This is insanity. And I was doing it because I've been just teasing him. And I was like, I don't think we're going to get him. And it keeps going. He keeps telling me he's going to the Red Sox, all this blah, blah, blah. He sends me the cat in my mom's bed. Look at this, just to ignore me. And then look at that. Oh, gotta love it.
Beautiful.
Gotta love it.
And obviously it's true, right? They could have gotten more players for this. But this is what we've all been talking about. Cohen using his financial might to change the tenure of this team. And now the Mets are at the very least a, playoff favorite to be, have this consistency. They still got work to do. They're still in need of a pitcher or two.
Yep.
But there you have it, folks. Right there on the bottom of the screen. Juan Soto to the Mets, 15 years, $765 million. That was posted first by John Heyman, and John Heyman has had a rough couple of days. We'll say that, but let him break that.
You do.
Oh,
Yes.
him breaking that over Keith McPherson. Ah!
Yes.
He ain't going back on that show, and he broke that news.
He probably was smiling while he was doing it too.
Andy Martino saying, just to repeat, Andy Martino saying that the opt-out after 5 years. Jeff Passan saying that there's no deferments in this contract, and it could go up to $800 million if he reaches certain, statistical feats. But there you have it, folks. We stayed on here for about an hour and 16 minutes.
Yo, we did it perfectly, bro.
Yeah.
It was perfect. It was. You know what's funny, Ed? I had a show scheduled Thursday, then I moved it to Friday, then I tried to get the guys together, and I kept pushing it back. I said, you know what? I'm going to just wait for Anthony's show, because you know what? Me, Anthony, and Keeshawn did it last year. You know what? Let's do it again. We had a great time. I said after that, then I'll plan something, and look, it was just perfect. It was meant to be.
Yeah. And you have a reaction show coming up tomorrow, correct?
Yes. You know what? I might just do a show all night. Why not? My wife, I hope she didn't hear that. She's not looking at me. She said, stop it. Okay, I can't do a show tonight, guys.
The lady is sleeping.
She's not sleeping. She's the walls are thick. No, she didn't hear me. She heard me?
I hear you in the hallway.
Oh, my wife is mad at me, guys. Sorry.
He'll take it. He'll take it for Juan Soto.
Yeah, I'll take it for Juan Soto.
We're closing in on 2,500 people on this stream right now. Shout out to all you guys hanging out with us, just talking about this breaking news coming out. Awesome stuff. Make sure you are following Keith. Make sure you're following Keeshawn. I think it's Key Bully.
Yeah, he's a bully.
19?
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I got, because I don't have, wait, actually, you know what? I do have it. Why? I have it written down here. I'm going to make sure I get it. Make sure you follow Keith at Kicking It with Keith. Make sure you follow Keeshawn at Key_bully19 and at Shea and Sons. Oh my goodness.
He's made it. He made it back.
Wow. We lost.
How do you feel, young man?
This breaking news broke you. It broke your camera.
He wanted him so bad. He'd been wanting him so bad.
Me and Keith have been talking for about 20 minutes about this. We lost you. Key, how you feeling, my brother? Juan Soto is a New York Met.
I know you was about to get out of here, but man.
No, we still rolling. I had other topics to talk about too.
We gotta talk about the Yankee scraps. More Yankee scraps, okay?
Yo, listen. I love, by the way, I just want to put that out there. I think that works for both parties. But bro, what the fuck, man? This is like that's it. Like the Mets, as you know it, changed forever. That's it. Like that's it. Like when we acquired Francisco Lindor, we felt like that was like the first step in the direction, and it's cultivated into this. Everything's escalated into this. And the failure of 2022, like it impacted this decision. Like they think about the road that we went on to get to this moment. I was here watching fucking Jared Eichhoff starts, bro, in 2021. We were here watching just Marcus Stroman and fucking like all these just stopgap bullshit guys, right? And we saw Scherzer and we saw Verlander and we saw how that just flamed out and didn't go anywhere. Last year we had hope and we got our hope, and now it's like everything. The game has changed. Now we in Dodger land. Like
Can
now,
I give you a little bit of information to make you even happier?
yeah.
Yeah.
The Yankees offered $5 million more, young man, and he still picked the Mets.
Well, you know what? I think at the brunt of it, like, who got the better future? Whose future do you see more brighter?
That's what it
Let's
came
be
down
honest.
to. It has to be. What do you think? It had to be that.
It has to be that. And someone had mentioned this. I can't remember where. But honestly, I know he's won the world championships. At this moment in time, with their track record, who has the better executive?
The Mets.
Oh, that's their executive is a fucking fossil who lived in the late 90s. He's not in the now with MLB, you know, like as we know it. He's not playing the same game as us. Why are you extending DJ LeMahieu? You know, like Anthony Rizzo, he was already washed before you got him. Like,
Yep.
I don't want to hear shit about a concussion. You know, you go down the list, right? Like Carlos Rondon, you know, Marcus Stroman, another Nestor Cortez, you know, like a bad decision. Like, they're just filled and riddled with poor decision making, and it starts from the top. And to think that Juan Soto was going to be like the guy to fix it all, he did, and he was able to help get shots to a series. You saw that is levels. Like, you're not on that level with the Dodgers. They dismantled them after that first game, and that fifth inning. You know.
Yeah.
So I think the future has to play a part in these sort of things. And if you looking at both spectrums, if the team is gonna offer me just around the same amount of money, I gotta go to a better future.
Get ready though, because Yankee fans are gonna tell you and everybody else, no one has it worse than the Yankee fans.
No, they
Nobody
always
has
have
it worse.
It's always woe is me. It's always, oh my gosh, like, everything bad happens to us, and you know, like we're so cursed, and I do not want to hear that shit. Now I hope those fears that you had come to fruition, and it becomes real life.
Couple of shout outs I want to do here. First off, shout out to your pops.
I called them on the live.
Shout out to your pops. Shout out to your wife as well, Keith.
Maybe they showing you love.
Shout out to your wife.
They're shouting you out now, internet people.
Why?
They love you because you're keeping me in check because I'm a crazy sicko. They just want to know that they love you. Sorry, Anthony, I had to show the love through you. But continue.
Shout out also to Mrs. Subway to Shea, because she
Yeah.
sent me this text.
Hell yeah.
She said, our child will be in high school and Soto will still be a Met.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
I don't know if you heard any of this, Key, when your camera went off air, but the deal for $765 for 15 years, Passan said has no deferments, and if he reaches certain checkpoints, it could go up to as much as $800 million. Andy Martino added that there is a dang, now why am I going blank? There is an opt-out after year 5, so 5 years. Most definite of Juan Soto as part of this New York Mets team. How are you liking that contract?
I love it. I think 5 years, you know, like, is a good stopgap point to just assess if things are going right in the direction of both parties. And he's at the tipping point of what's going to begin to become his prime if he's not already in it. So you think about it from that point, like, it's a win-win for both sides. He gets his money. He could always come back to the negotiation table and run this whole thing back and have a bunch of people with his decision once again. But no, this lets you know that I think you don't choose a place for what, 15 years if you don't feel like it's gonna be home. So I feel like that I think he knows where he wants to be. I think he wants to be, you know what I'm saying, on Queensbridge side of the city.
Queensbridge.
And we kind of heard, right, like when he was in National, like rumblings that he would want to play in New York and play for the Mets, and to finally see this get done, I'm still in shock. Shout out to everybody hanging out with us for this hour and a half in the chat. We have 2,600 people right now.
I need
I
a beer right now. I need a
get it, man. Pop that bottle. Let's go.
Yeah,
I thought that's what you went to go do.
Yeah, no, I was definitely doing that. But this is a momentous occasion. This is a special occasion. Eric Fetty died for this to happen. You know what I'm saying? Eric Fetty to the Mets died for it to come to fruition. We hear, you know what I'm saying, during the Eric Fetty Invitational. I'm gonna always call it when we on the stream together.
The Eric Fetty Invitational.
Because
I have bookmarked maybe 50 tweets, Red Sox, Yankee fans. And if you get a chance and you go through my Twitter, you're just going to see a whole bunch of retweets right now. Just enjoy it if you get a chance, folks.
A lot of people didn't think that the Mets were a destination. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Now, whole lot. Eat a friend.
Whole lot.
Well, Armand posting from Sean McAdams source, Red Sox last best offer on Soto was around $700 million for 15 years. My guy Mick, where you at, brother? Where's Mick at? He's gonna.
You know what? Tonight. Let me go to that guy's page. Thank you for better than average.
Everybody tweet out Mick tonight.
Yeah, where's
Soto? On Thanksgiving, Soto was already a Red Sox.
He's still active. I stand by. Oh. Let me add him real quick. Beyond average Mick. Hi. I'm just gonna write hi, like the Joker did with the gown and everything. Hi. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm just retweeting this man in this beautiful jersey. Oh my god.
So good.
Hey, shout out Joshua Kuznick, former MLB agent, now comedian. The comedian in him has been doing a great job. He should never stop that. He's doing a great job. Just go down that path, my friend.
Here is a post from SNY, I guess that they had on Andy Martino and Jim Duquette together. One thing that Juan Soto articulated to David Stearns and Steve Cohen throughout this process is that he did believe in Cohen.
There you go. Hey, man, you know what? One thing that I have been critical about Steve Cohen is it's not the goofy shit on Twitter. It really isn't. The shit that I've been critical on is it's been Lindor, it's been Pete for the longest, right? We developed Vientos, cool. And Nimmo, yeah, cool. McNeil, you need that cog, that one. You
need a dude who's gonna step up to the bass plate and you're gonna be afraid of. You're gonna be like,
yes.
like when I hold the glove 6 inches in front of my face and the ball, I'm trying to get the grip. I'm sweating. I know that if I throw this sweeper and I hang it, that's it. I gotta live and die by this pitch. So yes, I agree.
Man. You know what's funny is that they're not done. They're not done. They are not fucking done.
I posted up a few seconds ago, Tom Girard saying, go get Pete. Now go get Pete. I want to get into Pete Alonso with you guys in a few moments, but just think of this. The Yankees, Brian Cashman, traded for Juan Soto for Michael King.
I'm sorry. And Donovan Mitchell and Juan Soto on FaceTime together?
Shut up.
Yeah.
They're doing a live right now?
Yeah. Nah, they were on FaceTime. Looks like, I don't know if I can see it, but
Blake Trinan back to the Dodgers, 2 years, $22 million. Blake Trinan.
Wow.
Now free agency just started.
And you know who I gotta eat crow and give kudos to? Scott Boras. I thought it was the end of the line after last season at Scott Boras, and he came back with a freaking bang. First with Blake Snell, now Juan Soto.
Oh, he wasn't in the winter meetings. I don't know. This looks like he was in DR. Look, his brother tweeted this just now.
Wow.
They're celebrating in the pool.
Wow.
Elian Soto. That shit. This is
You know what?
insane.
Hey, that Instagram post from a few years back, it looks to be true.
Ibby always posts that. Ibby always posts that same picture. The one where he's leaning, right, with the bat.
Yeah,
like looking.
he was thinking about the match, bro.
Shout out Ibby, man.
Shout out Athlete Logos. He already has the graphic up, the Shea Light graphic of Juan Soto doing the shimmy. That's out there.
I got breaking news. Another big piece of news. Oh, that's fire. Another big piece of news. The Rizzler, Juan Soto, is Riz approved by the Rizzler. So I just want to let y'all know.
Yo, this is 1 and 2 in the lineup, fellas. This is 1-2 in the lineup.
Someone had asked about the lineup.
Hold on. Can we just have a moment, gentlemen, real quick? The New York Mets have the best Puerto Rican player and the best Dominican player. Chef's kiss. Steve Cohen, my favorite guy.
Shout out Steve Cohen. Shout out David Stearns. And guess what? Alex Cohen didn't even make him a meal yet.
Nope. She will soon, though. Oh my God! I was so doubtful. I didn't think this was happening.
Well, not only did it happened on our stream here. So always thankful for having you guys a part of this. Duran Rivera saying, "What's the Mets lineup with Soto?" So you think Soto will be batting second, right behind Lindor?
Yes.
Do you think they keep Mark Vientos at second, and then put Soto and Pete? How do you guys like the? Well, Pete's not here yet.
So that's actually, you know what? You just won me with that. Why? Because Soto's gonna get on base at a 40% to almost 50% clip. So you gotta pitch to the guys in front of him. This is perfect for Mark Vientos. Stay Mark Vientos in the 2-hole. You got Lindor, Vientos, Soto, and then I guess we'll figure the rest out if Pete comes back, Nimmo, whatever. But just think about the development for Mark Vientos having to see those pitches because Soto's behind him. Oh, my days. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Bro, Lindor gets his running mate, bro. Like, we
earned it.
That. He earned it, too. He
earned it.
Like, yo, I could prove to y'all that I'm a 1A. I'm not a 1B. Like, we thought for so long him and Alonso were 1B. No, he proved that he was a 1A. He was like, yo, I just need another one, and let's go do this.
You remember how
it's gonna be the same. I think
I agree. You remember how hyped we were when it was like, oh, they're finally gonna have Lindor at top where he belongs and Brandon Nimmo. Remember how that started? And for a while they were doing pretty well until Nimmo kind of fell off for most of the season. And now to think you have your top 3 batters possibly being Lindor, Soto, and possibly rising star in Mark Vientos, a rising power bat. I mean, how hyped does that kid got to be right now, knowing that he's going to be teamed up with Juan Soto? He's already, works out and does his thing with Francisco Lindor, and to now have that as well be a part of it. Wow. Unreal.
Bro, going to a Met game is going to be hell.
Yo,
Jesus,
fellas,
right?
I think this week I might look into some spring training tickets, fellas. It might have to go down.
Might happen
for a weekend, just from like a Friday to Monday type vibe. We could do it, man. Maybe we'll be here, but we can sneak away for a few days, and we'll tell the missus you're on a business trip.
Shout out to Bourbon Baseball.
Hell yeah.
Friend. What was the post that Carlos Mendoza's son said? You know what would be funny? If his son comes back on now and says, I told you so.
Shout out to Mendy's son. I buried the kid. I just want to give a big shout out to his son because he at least had an idea of something that was going on. And
that was real reporting.
Yep.
He deleted his whole account after that.
He knew he was gonna get in trouble.
He got in trouble after that. Yep, he got to beat that, I'm sure. But yeah, man, I don't even drink, and I want to drink. Ooh, I knew she had a look on her face. She gave me the side eye.
Wait. Don't you have that? Don't you have coquito at home?
The coquito still good? Yep. Coquito it is. She made it too, by the way. That beautiful, amazing cook over there. Yeah.
I gotta start getting mine ready for the Christmas season. If I would have had some, I would have cheersed you brothers.
Anthony, where's your dad? Did you text your pops yet?
He lives down the shore now.
Yeah. Did he want some?
He doesn't follow as much baseball as he used to when I lived with him. But he always checks in. But I got a whole bunch of family members now tweeting me about this. And today was Mrs. Subway to Shea's baby shower, so the whole family was together and checking our phones, seeing if there was any updates. But like I said, glad that we were able to do this on here. Perfect timing, everything worked out. Because usually now I'm doing this show Sunday mornings, so everything worked out perfect. So let's thank Mrs. Subway to Shea for having the baby shower earlier this morning.
Amen to that, and I hope it was a blessed time for her, man. She deserves it, man. How many more weeks?
We're looking at the end of January, so probably about 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, you can't come to spring training, brother. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this year maybe not, but we got 5. We got at least
5 years of it.
That, no,
doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. There's gonna be a lot of games that you're gonna be able to attend with the little one. Are you good?
Absolutely.
This is crazy. Yo, the timeline is insane. And when you open your phone, oh boy.
The timeline's insane. The chat is going off right now. Someone said, Tom Girard said, remember when Jeff Wilpon said it's unheard of to have multiple 30 million a year players on the same roster? Yeah, those days have changed. Stan from Westport, Mets could actually have 7 batters with 20 home runs plus. Woo.
Amen. Yeah, yo, it's like we were talking to air because no one wanted to hear us about this lineup. Like this is a cherry on top, ladies and gentlemen. This is just like this is a FU to everybody, honestly. Now, you know what, Anthony? Tomorrow at 5:00, we got Mendy's presser. Maybe I'm in the minority. Oh, look at that. Send me that.
Oh,
maybe I'm in the minority. But I want to hear David Stearns because he has that sly smile.
I'm just hanging out.
I'm just hanging out. He goes, we got a nice player. He's gonna downplay it so much. He's gonna downplay it to the point where, we got more work to do. It's no big deal. I can't wait to hear that shit because to me, that's the asshole shit we need. I love it.
Yeah. I like the video you posted earlier with the notes of what he said last season about how he. If you have not been listening and following David Stearns, he has been on point with mostly everything he said. Yes, players have not worked out on this team that he has acquired. But the strategy that he has used to bring pitchers in here to put together this roster has not changed one bit. So he's not telling you any lies like we would hear from, as was mentioned earlier, the Wilpons. Lindor is my captain saying, if I'm Pete, I'm begging Boris to get me a deal with the Mets. Gentlemen, what is the deal you are giving Pete Alonso? Because now we move on. Juan Soto's done.
May I?
Yeah, take it away, Keith.
He got to opt out in 5 years, right? Hear me out, ladies and gentlemen. Pete Alonso should sign a 4-year deal with an option for a 5th. That's what I would do. He will be 35 at that point, but that will solidify his career as a Met for life. And he will have 5 years minimum with Francisco Lindor, Mark Vientos, Brandon Nimmo, maybe not Jeff McNeil, but and Juan Soto. If I'm Pete Alonso, I'm saying, you know what? get me that 4 years with the option for the 5th. Maybe I have to hit some numbers to like activate the 5th year and earn it so I could be in this group. And that's what if I was Pete. Now, dollars do matter here with the first baseman, right? I think there's a number that I think we're not seeing because he may have to take some deferred money. I really do think that he is a candidate for deferrals. And I know he's earned it and I love him. But if he's smart, he should take some deferred money so that it could solidify that big money deal that he wants. Because initially I was saying he's going to sign a short year deal with a high AAV. This to me makes the most sense for him and the Mets. That's just my opinion.
What are you at, Key, with the contract for Pete and what he could get?
Yo, man, it's as simple as this. You just got Juan Soto. So at this point, if Pete Alonso wants an average annual value of like close to 30 mark, we in it. We already stuck our foot in the Juan Soto waters. So we just got to go all in at that point. And I think that I think it'll be a number that we all don't expect. I think it'll be one of those Nimmo situations where we all looked at Nimmos and was like, did anybody foresee making this much money? No. I think it'll be one of those things where it'll hover around a 30, 29 average annual value.
There's 7.7 million interactions with Jeff Passan's tweet for Juan Soto to the Mets.
Let me post this from Armand, and I also double-checked it as well. Armand said, per Mike Puma, Soto got a $75 million signing bonus.
Wow. He got $75 million for saying yes. Like right off the rip. Like $75 million is in his hands right now.
Like was that the last part of this? Like, all right, hey, if you sign with us, how about a $75 million signing bonus?
Might be onto some, man. Because $75 million off rip. He got it right now. $75 million is in his hands right now. He hasn't swung a bat yet.
Can I bring something up? So
yeah,
I have this is left field, but I promise I'm gonna tie it back into Juan Soto. Haven't watched football in 8 weeks. Today I didn't watch. I placed a bet and I hit a parlay. Not watching football for 2 months. We might have to get in on these opening day tickets a little early, man. I don't know. Now the game is changing for us.
Yeah. $80 parking. $80 parking. About a $75 hot dog.
Well, we were sitting in the 500s because it cost us anywhere between like 30 and 40 bucks. I think those days are over. Shout out Queens baseball.
Yeah. There's gonna have to be some outings. Those I can't do spring training this year, but those I will be attending.
I think I'm gonna try my best. Hopefully me and my bro can put some time together, maybe in January, where we can get that Party City thing rented for everybody, for all of us. Just for a game, right? Like do it one day. You know, we just paid $100 a head or something. It'll probably be $100 a head, unfortunately, because it's going to be expensive. But we just go and we just enjoy it. Who cares? I got that point, right? Like, just go because that might be the only game we all go to together because Lord have mercy.
Keith, Johnny Boy is in the same problem as you. His wife is also telling him to stop yelling about us. He is hyped. I mean, this whole chat is hyped right now. Wow.
This is
unreal.
Marte on Instagram. Welcome to the family. Marte traded Sevy for Soto. What you got, Key?
Nah. I keep looking at the him in the black jersey, and I'm like, damn, beautiful. I gotta get that jersey, man.
Yeah, it's happening this week, fellas. Friday, a Soto jersey will be coming to that closet. And poor Keeshawn. So Keeshawn, this is while you were gone, Keeshawn. If you can take a look at the project in my screen right here, We do have a subpar Juan Soto jersey.
Yeah,
So
yeah. You know what?
This was planted. This bug has been planted for 2 years.
Yeah, it was all a part of the plan. When you saw Brett Brady play, you were like, what? Soto jersey.
Does anybody have a 22 Mets jersey right now other than me? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I'm ahead of the game. I just got to take the letters out.
You know what? Just get some tape. Soto over the Beatty. It's real quick, real easy. You already got 4 letters. Boom. That's it. You're good.
Oof. Oof.
Oh, they're going to be playing the Astros on opening day, so maybe Susie from Bourbon and Baseball maybe will.
2 years in a row, the Astros get Juan Soto opening day. 2 years in a row. They got it last year with the Yankees. They get this year with the Mets. Oh boy.
Jeff Coing saying his Yankees fan friend thinks the Mets are done for the offseason. Yeah,
No way.
That's not happening, bud.
No way.
That's
not a chance.
Happening.
Not a chance in hell.
Yo, shouts out to physicals.
You broke up there. What you said?
I said shouts out physical.
Oh, your service.
And medical.
Oh, physicals and medicals. Let's see, man.
And Soto was in the Dominican Republic when this happened?
It looks like it because his family's celebrating at a pool. It could be Texas, it could be Dallas, but he's out there like without no clothes. It might be the Dominican.
So I'm wondering, like, is he gonna go to Dallas for a Scott Boras press conference, or will they be doing this at Citi Field? There's got to be a Citi Field, right?
It's coming to Queens, and it's coming to Queens, and I'm gonna tell you right now. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that's for the fucking Corbin Burns, the motherfucking Max Freeze, the motherfucking Peter Long, all that shit, the Teoscars and fucking Tender. Friday or Saturday or probably Thursday or Friday, you get in that press conference for sure. For sure.
Maybe they leave the winter meetings with Pete or Sean Manaea.
How about a press conference with Sean Manaea, Pete, and Soto right in the middle?
I love it.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it.
No, wait, let me ask you now. Let's just say they probably have been negotiating with some of those guys. Do you think the price lowers a little bit now?
I wonder if Pete's like, you know what? I won't take a crazy hometown discount, but I want to be a part of this. So if it's a little bit lower, I'm taking that.
Jesus Christ. This is insanity. I can only imagine what's going on in these Twitter spaces. Oh my God. These Yankee fans are in shambles right now. Oh my God.
That's why Johnny Poi is saying that. Why is the Yankee fan base so salty right now? I mean, it was expected, right? Like we talked about it, but that they worried more about it was less about them getting Juan Soto and more about them losing Soto to the Mets or the Red Sox. That was the one thing that they didn't want. I'm pretty sure that they are more upset with Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner than ever before right now.
You know, it's funny. I have some good Yankee friends, the good ones, over at NYYU Underground.
Yeah, they're great. I love NYYU.
They actually said in the summer, they spoke to Juan Soto's barber, and he literally said if the Yankees do not win a World Series, that he will sign with the Mets. And he was right. Check this out. Will Salmon. Negotiations resumed Sunday in the late afternoon. Steve Cohen was not going to be denied Juan Soto. Not because, of course, Cohen lured the superstar away from the Yankees and brought him to the Mets with his vision and his billions. The full story is now New York Times and The Athletic. Will Salmon's article is up now. Please go check that out, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely. I had Will on a couple of weeks ago, and he wasn't too sure where this was going to go. But, man, if there's someone that you want to follow that covers the Mets, definitely Will Salmon is great at this. I have a good friend, Andrew Tredenick, who works for NorthJersey.com and The Record. Another good read to follow as well. There's there's so many good ones. I mean, we've been through the ringer the last couple of weeks on social media with a lot of the fake accounts and the fake reports of where Juan Soto was going to go from each and every team that wanted him. So make sure you definitely read what Will Salmon had to say.
See what Mike Deportes has been tweeting. Let me go to his.
That's the barber I thought you were talking about. Original.
No, this is the beta barber. You gotta love it. Oh my gosh.
I will definitely be checking into all of the Yankee streams once I get off the air and see how they're hanging in there. I love the guys at NYYU. Pete's great. Francis, I know you had him on as well.
Good guy.
So good guys out there. I know they're struggling with this this loss of Juan Soto, but you know what? At the end of the day, this is better for the Yankees. They now can build a better team.
I agree, because with respect to any Yankee fan that is watching, there's significant issues in that infield. Significant. There is significant issues in that rotation after Garrett Cole and Luis Hill. There is significant issues, and you guys have to address them without going the marquee name. You need a first baseman. I don't know what the infield looks like if Anthony Volpe is probably still staying on short, so you need a second baseman. Glaber's gone. You need a third baseman. I mean, Jazz Chisholm, if you want to keep going that route, I guess. But now you need a center fielder. Verdugo's gone. You need a left fielder. Are they going to play the Dominguez kid? There's holes all over that.
Yep.
They need to fix that shit. I don't know if they really believe in Carlos Rodon, but I mean, the proof is in the pudding. So, jump on in, Keeshawn. My bad.
Nah, and read the tweet that I just sent. Will Salmon. Will Salmon just tweeted something. I don't know.
Let me see. Was it the article?
Negotiations resumed Sunday in the afternoon. Steve Cohen was not going to be denied of Juan Soto, not because of cost. Cohen lured the superstar away from the Yankees and brought him to the Mets division and billions. Yeah, I this is tough, bro. Like, Will Salmon, he about to let us know like all the inner workings and the everything behind the scenes. Nuts, yo. I can't believe we was here for this.
This has been the wildest night, definitely for the Subway to Shea podcast. I'm pretty sure for you guys as well. 2,800 are still with us, going through everything.
Wow.
Still hanging out with us. We appreciate you guys for being a part of this. Before we get off, I do want to talk about rounding out this rotation now, and especially with Juan Soto being a part of it. Ken Rosenthal and Will Salmon of The Athletic wrote an article like a couple of days ago, probably Friday, and talking about where the Mets go next with this rotation after adding a guy like Clay Holmes as well as Frankie Montas. There's still interest in bringing back Sean Manaea, and Sean Manaea had already gotten an offer, which I assume is from the Athletics. Someone had posted the Athletics offered him a contract before they offered Sevy, that it was a 4-year deal that he got offered. So that's looking like where he is going to be starting his bids at with a 4-year deal. There's also been interest in Nathan Eovaldi, Walker Buehler, Jack Flaherty, Nick Pivetta, and Walker Buehler, like I said before. What do you think about the Mets rounding out this rotation, Keith? Because I really don't know at this point in time if Sean Manaea is coming back. I want him back. I want to see him back as a Met. But when you're talking about a guy who's around 33 years old, a 4-year deal puts him at 37, 38. And do you sign Sean Manaea and call it a day? Do you look at these other options and say, hey, maybe I'll get 2 of these guys like a Buehler and a Pivetta? Jack Flaherty, I think, is one of the lesser options. I think he's going to command probably a 4 or 5-year deal himself for a little bit more money than what Sean Manaea got. So what are you looking at for the rotation? How would you like the Mets to close out this rotation?
Some people may be thinking to go all in and get the ace and stuff. I think
I think that's
you,
out. Like people keep
yeah.
saying that, honestly, and I keep telling us they're not going after Burns. They're not going after Fried. I'd be shocked if they did.
Yeah, I think it's Shamanaya, and I think it's gonna be Mike Soroka. I really do. I
As a
think
starter,
Stearns. Yeah, I think he
wow.
wants to make him a starter. I think that's another. I think Soroka is part of the Clay Holmes experiment. I think whoever kind of stabilizes themselves a little longer will remain the starter, and then the latter will jump into the pen and assist the bullpen. And I actually think that is so creative to attempt to do. Get two guys who can start or be in the bullpen, and you're fixing essentially four holes with two players. And I think that is a smart way to go. I think Shamanai is a must. Personally, I think Shamanai is extensively important to the organization's culture. And I think he's only going to get more important to this. Or I think when people say get the ace, I think this is essentially the Mets ace. Like this is our version of an ace. You know what I'm saying? Because he became this version of himself with us. He is the tribal chief now. He wasn't the tribal chief before us. And I know this is crazy, but like this is true. Like he developed this whole new like identity under the Mets umbrella, under the Stearns watch. And I think that this is essential for the rotation to have that guy who truly excelled beyond expectations. And I think for him personally, he has adapted to this city. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't seen a free agent adapt to this city better than Shamanaya. I really can't. Lindor had trouble with it. Diaz, I mean, trade, but whatever. He had trouble with it. There's so many guys you can go to. Like Scherzer, not so much. Honestly, Verlander was a quiet cat. Shamanaya, he took the goofy Mets, the fun, goofy, ha ha ha, and he thrived through it on the play of with the play on the field.
Yeah.
And you never saw Shamanaya too angry. You never saw Shamanaya too full of himself, too serious. Shamanaya took things so lightly, and it was like exactly the culture that's built for this team to just like be within yourself, family, organization, be who you are, and be a Met and be that on the field and off the field. And
yeah,
this isn't the corporate field. You know, this is being a human being and also being a professional at the same time. And I've never seen a player adapt to that from day one all the way to now. He was just so within himself, so free. And he also, not to get too sensitive, he dedicated the season to his lost brother. And throughout the season, he also lost, I believe, a grandparent and an aunt. And he still maintained such a level head, and the Mets supported him through all that. You got to bring him back, man.
Yeah, they don't get to the postseason without Shamanaya and the run that he had in the second half of the season. Look, you and me talked about the tribal chief way before the season began. We're like, if he pitches well, that's going to be the moniker for him. And he ended up not only becoming that, but he embraced that. Absolutely. He embraced that a lot of Met fans began calling him the tribal chief as well.
Absolutely.
So it was great to see that, and to see someone like him adapt from, California is totally different. Like playing in Oakland, playing in San Francisco, going to San Diego, that it's just a different playing field. And then to come to New York and maybe is saying becoming one of us is like that the proper terminology to use?
I think so. I think so because
like you saw him with Heck. Like he on a regular day, he's playing softball. Like,
and that is so
guy.
Yeah, and you hear that about Pete. Oh, he's our goof, right? Yeah. You hear that about McNeil. Oh, he's our guy. He does the tantrum, but he's our guy, right? You hear that about Nimmo. Oh, he's just a fun-loving Nimmo, such a sweet person. You hear about Lindor. Lindor's a good father, good husband, all these things, right? And that's kind of what it is. You hear this about Carlos Mendoza. You see the owner and his wife and their children. This is a family organization. This is literally, this organization is built on being a family-run business. This is being a human being, showing who you are and showing that you can be a professional at the same time. Sean Manaea, to me, checked off every single box. When he was with Hector, I think that was it.
Yeah.
And shout out to Heck, Blunt Thoughts, my man. That was like, I was like, Sean Manaea is playing fucking softball with a guy I talked to on Twitter, and it's just like a regular day to the dude. There's no paparazzi. He signed the ball. He even invited Heck to the stadium to hang out. Like, to me, that's when you're saying to yourself, all right, this is an organizational piece for the community and to win baseball games. It's a no-brainer, in my opinion. And I think my rule, and I've told you this, and I've told the whole world this, and sometimes I joke on Twitter. A lot of people take me too serious. But my rule that I'm dead serious on, and you know this, I want guys who want to be here.
Absolutely. That's the number one rule to me. You want to be here, and if you can play here, that's why I know it was easy to let Sevy go. But the fact that he played in New York, the fact that he embraced being a New York Met, kind of like I know he was talked about a couple of days ago, but kind of the way Curtis Granderson did, like coming from the Yankees, becoming a Met. He became a Met last year. And I will always remember that stuff from Sevy. But to bring back Manaea, I think is key. He's a part of my checklist, my wish list of players. We finally got, Soto a part of that. It would be nice to get Manaea back. But let's say that they don't, right? Let's say that he gets a more lucrative deal, because that is 100% possible that he gets a big deal from another team, could get a better deal than Snell. It's possible. We don't know who's willing to give out these kind of big deals. But the names that were mentioned, a Nathan Eovaldi, a Walker Buehler, a Flaherty, a Pivetta, who do you like from this list?
Pivetta, Buehler, Flaherty is the names you gave me?
And Eovaldi.
I would go with the guy who so this is going to sound crazy because I'm a crazy dude. The guy I don't want the most is the guy I'm going to pick, because that's the guy who's going to prove me and everybody else wrong. I'm going to go with Walker Buehler. If they could fix Sevy, they could fix Walker Buehler. Go get Walker Buehler. Show the world that this pitching lab's legit with Frankie fucking Montas, who I still doubt. Bring Walker Buehler, who I still doubt. Show the world that they can fix players and bring in the best players in the world. Who's going to not want to be with the New York Mets? I like Eovaldi, but I just think he's too old for David Stearns and Steve Cohen. I think that's a model that they're trying to avoid.
He's around 34, right? I think.
Yeah, going to be 35. And I think he's older, actually. I could be wrong, but I think that Walker Buehler fits the best out of all those names. Pivetta has the QO, so it fucks them over with the QO. I think Jack Flaherty's a West Coast kind of dude. If not, he probably returns to Detroit. And I just think Eovaldi, who I think is probably the best fit, like, he doesn't need a pitching lab. He's fine. He can pitch in New York. Like, there's no doubt about it. He can pitch on the East Coast. But I would go with Walker Buehler. I just think it fits what David Stearns wants to do the most. Now, I want to be honest with you, and I don't want to dive into another deep convo. There's a lot of kids in this organization that, as of today, they are not seeing playing time. They are not. They are not going to see playing time. That's a conversation for another day. But because of what just happened, you may have to look to trade some of these pieces. You may have to.
Yeah. I thought that, for me, my wish list was obviously Soto, Alonso, Manaea, and a possible trade for a starting pitcher. Now, it came out, I don't know if it was today, but Alex Spear of the Boston Globe saying the Mariners are willing to trade starting pitcher Luis Castillo. I've been I'll take anyone from that Mariners rotation, but to have a experienced guy like Luis Castillo, throw him at Citi Field with Senga and Montas, a possible Manaea or Peterson, as well as Clay Holmes. Woo-wee.
Get all the Dominicans here. Who cares? Get them. You got Montas here. Get Castillo here. You got Marte. You got Soto. You got Siri. We didn't have a lot of Dominicans not too long ago. We're about to have a whole team of them. I can't wait. This is gonna be. We're gonna have so much fun this year. I can't wait. Oh my god, I can't wait.
I can't either. A couple of things before we wrap up the show, a couple of news and happenings, minor stuff. The Mets signed outfielder Edwin Olivares onto a minor league deal with an invite to spring training. 2024, he batted .224, 5 home runs, 23 RBIs, a stolen base, and a 624 OPS for his career. His .254 batting average, 713 OPS during his 5-year career. And then the Mets get relief pitcher Sean Harney from Tampa Bay in exchange for some of that international pool money. So we'll see where the Mets go. We got our guy back in here. We got Key back in.
You guys gonna see this?
Yo, he told the truth.
You only have one good hitter.
Who posted that? I need that.
I'll send it to you now.
I definitely need that.
That is amazing. Oh my god.
Oh man. Look at these opening day tickets, man.
You know what? Just get me it and I'll pay you the money. Just give me the ticket. Fuck it. It's gonna be like $300 to get in the 500s now.
You know it.
God, yeah. Those days are over, bro. That's it. That's it, bro.
What does this mean? Hold on. Tweet came out. Camera Soto. Mets can void Soto's opt-out after 5 years by escalating his AAV value from 51 to 55 they could skip the opt-out.
So is that kind of like that Cole scenario?
Yeah.
Eventually Cole stayed with his deal because they weren't going to give him more of the money.
Yeah, so if they up the AAV $4 million a year, the opt-out is voided.
Yeah.
We face the Blue Jays opening day. Oh my god, these tickets are ridiculous now. Why?
We're watching the game on YouTube, brother. I'm gonna go to Anthony's crib and just watch the game.
Yeah. We'll tailgate. We'll tailgate outside City Field. Just not in the parking lot. That's gonna be $80 now. We'll be down the street, down the block. By the bodega.
Oh my god.
I gotta be there for this. I have to be there.
You know I'm right podcast saying sign Alonso. We 100% agree. That's the next move. That's the next step, unless they bring back Minaya or another starting pitcher.
Francisco Alvarez behind. Oh my god. Alvi and Vientos. Like it's more
kids,
dumb.
Man, the kids.
They're gonna watch this guy and just because they last year was the Lindor learning tree, right? They got better watching Lindor. Now they're gonna get this fucking guy. Oh my god. Oh god. This is insane. This is insane.
We're in the Nemo gonna get to trade like, hey, like what do you like to take on 2-0? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, this team better lead the league in walks because they used to do it without Juan Soto. Now they got Juan Soto. They better lead the league in walks. I don't want to hear no excuse. Lead the league in walks.
Well, gentlemen, this has been a fun show. Every year, this is happening. Let's lock that down. Every year,
that is
Invitational, the MLB winter meetings preview.
That is a guarantee. This is literally like you know what's funny? Anthony got all the superstars on his show. It's good because like we love to see your growth, but when he brings these two outlaws, crazy shit goes.
Well, he's a fan. Yeah.
This is like War Games. This is like when CM Punk just pops up out of nowhere. This is insane.
Well, you guys know you like family right now, so I always appreciate you being a part of the show and hanging out with me and doing these live streams. Shout out 2,900 in the room for this show. I can't thank you guys enough. Please promote what you got coming up. Please promote your show tomorrow as well. Let everyone know where to get to and how to watch it and all the socials.
I'm going to be on around 5 o'clock for Carlos Mendoza's conference. I believe Mike Mayer said it's around 5:30, but we'll be on. He probably has work, but he'll probably try to do his best to be in the chat. Yeah, man, just Yeah, look, honestly, real quick, Met fans deserve this. End of the day, Met fans gone through so much bullshit.
You
This is for
said
the
that.
Met
You've been
fans.
saying that for weeks. You've been saying it for weeks.
Met fans, I was saying like from a negative point because I was just like over the shit because I'm like, dude should have signed already. I don't want to see Met fans sad and pissed and everything no more. Thank you, Maureen. That's very kind of you. I just want them happy. They deserve that one day. They had it way back when Lindor. It's gonna go on like almost 4 or 5 years now. And we missed out on Correa, Yamamoto, all this shit. Like, just give him that one. My brother been wanting Soto for the longest. I knew he needed a moment. And so many Met fans did that today, So they deserve it, man. Met fans deserve this.
Key, what you got, brother?
I ain't got shit, and all I got is that Juan Soto is a New York fucking metropolitan. That's what I got.
Sure is.
That's what I got. So salutes to that. Salutes to Scott Boras. Salutes to Steve Cohen. Salutes to number one New York Mets podcast around. You know what I'm saying?
Keith,
yes, sir.
Keith, did you say what the raise was going to be?
It's just $4 million on AAV. Though the problem
season.
that I just don't understand. There's a confusion though because at some point, so it says the Mets can void the opt out, but like I'm sure that there's got to be a deadline to do that, right? Because with Cole shit, Cole shit was put in for this season, but that was when he signed way back when. So when is that deadline? You know what I'm trying to say?
So I think that Ken Rosenthal, who wrote that the Mets can void, I think that was misunderstood because from what Jorge Castillo put, and he's a ESPN baseball reporter, he said Soto can either opt out after the 5th year or receive the raise. So I guess that's where the Mets come in. They can offer the raise per season from $51 million to $55 million, which I guess leads to that reaching up to that $800
that
million.
5th year, that's when they decide to give him the raise.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. He's gonna be a Met for life. Got it. That's what it sounds like. He's gonna be a Met for life. He's gonna be a Met for 15 years. So it sounds like, wow. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can catch me on the Subway to Shea podcast on my YouTube page at Subway to Shea, on Instagram, TikTok, X. You can follow me personally at Ant Rivera 86. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify if you want to listen to it. Like I said, on YouTube, make sure you like the video. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're subscribing to Shea and Sons as well.
Yes.
And you follow Keith and Key, Kicking It with Keith on X. At Key_bully19 on X, and at Shea N Sons. So make sure you guys are doing all that. Shout out to all you people. Thank you for being a part of this. Go get Pete Alonso. Let's keep this going. Yeah. I'm just going to leave this under here as we leave the show because this is the most important thing that just happened. Juan Soto is a New York Met. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go Mets.
What in